Hi, good morning to all of you. So, thanks for your interest in the course. We will start our session today. Yeah, I'll just start sharing the screen. Um, okay, let me see. Okay, okay. Share the screen, right? Entire screen. Yeah. So, this is the first session that we are conducting for our batch 2. So we would be, having this Python for AI. This will be a total 15 sessions course. So where we will start with initially the basics, and then we will do 2 hands-on projects. Okay, that's the overall thing that we would be covering here in this course. And I will just start with session 1. Okay, so just for my understanding, can you put in what is your brief background so that I can understand what is the kind of people who have come in. So please type your name, and just you can mention whatever the whether you have done BTech or whatever your qualification wise, and whether you if you have any experience, then you can mention the experience, 2 years or whatever is the number of years. And of course, if you know about any programming languages, like any other language, please do paste it in the type it in the chat, so that I can get a feel of all the people whoever has joined are there. And also I can get a confidence that you people are able to you people what kind of background you have, and so that I can if required some fine tuning of the course, I will be able to do it. So can you please type in your name, followed by qualification, work experience, and programming knowledge. Okay, so please, I have posted. So please type in like this: name, qualification, work experience, and the programming knowledge, so that I can get a feel of what kind of you people have in terms of your background, so that I can get the feel. Okay, please do post it quickly. Meanwhile, I will continue. I would go through the chats at an appropriate time. So please do post in these information, so that I can get the feel of your backgrounds, and so that my program, if some fine tuning has to be done, we will try to do that in the course. Okay. Um, okay. So just to give you a brief background about me, I am Dr.K.Sudheendra Rao, and I did my MSc and PhD from IIT Kanpur, and I'm also a certified data scientist. I do have extensive experience in data acquisition and analysis software. This is programming is a tool which you can use it for a lot of automation. So initial parts of my development was for automations. I used to acquire a lot of data acquisition with the help of the software tools that I had developed. And at some point of time, these tools, I had also sold it to different clients. I have developed customized softwares for them for their applications. And I do have a lot of okay. Good. So Sai Krishna has posted. Anybody else? Please do post in. I have got only one message as of now. Sai Krishna has posted. Okay. So I do have extensive experience in terms of teaching students, especially I have trained more than 3,000 students, interacted with them. Basically, that experience is more on towards robotics, drones, AI, and ML. You know, and I have also made helped these students to participate in national competitions, and they won some of the awards during a last couple of years. So I am also a founder and director of Liquidronics Tech Private Limited. This is a startup that I had started during the COVID time, around 2020 period. We have started this company, and my main passions are about innovating in the fields of technology and education. Those are the primary my motivations there. And I do have passionate about helping others, and especially young people who wants to learn, make them hands-on training. That's the main direction in which I have been working. Okay. So, just to give you again a summary of this course that we are going to cover is about, we are going to have 30 plus hours of, sessions in which you will be learning, going from the very basic things, see, as of now, only two people have messaged me, Abhishek and Krishna. So both of them have no idea about Python, no programming knowledge, in fact, so that's where, you can join this course. And of course, most of you have already joined. I think some of you have not yet joined this course. You can take up this course where we will be helping you in terms of Python. Um, yeah, Raghu also done. Okay, ETL Informatica. Okay, sure. So I think Pradeep also has messaged. Data integration experience technologies, data management, database. Okay, Power Center, data quality, C language. Okay, Navya. This is Navya. Oh, okay. I think Pradeep. Okay, somebody else has joined. Okay, Raghu. Programming knowledge, no. Okay, some C language is there for Pradeep. Okay. Pradeep, try to join with the same name, so that, because the messages when I see, maybe today's session, if you can rename it, it will be nice. Because I would be seeing the names, I will not be able to. Okay, it's fine. So, Pradeep, so you have to be with me, whenever I call Navya, and I think you need to respond. That's how, unfortunately, I'll be seeing the names here. I will try to remember, but yeah, that's okay. So what uh, this course we are going to cover is hands-on projects in various domains. The full details are available on our website. You can check it, Raj Informatica. There we will be covering 6 domains. Starting from warehouse, uh, algorithmic trading, and fuzzy financial app, different things that we will be covering. There are 6 domains. I have put up the full details there in the course curriculum. You can go through them, and most likely we will see, based on the interest of the participants, we might take up, two projects based on the interest of the participants. And we will be having comprehensive curriculum, which should be sufficient for you to, understand all the basics, and you should be able to develop any particular project independently. So in fact, I have been telling this, in my other, robotics and training courses also, that in the future, if you do not adapt to the changing technologies, it will be problem for you. So people keep on asking always, wherever I give in general lectures for kids, they usually ask, sir, AI, will that be making job losses, or what kind of things that are going to be there? So I feel that, it's the more things will come in with, if you are able to adapt to the new changing world. Like, in 1990s, when the computers were coming, that time, in at least in India, that time, there was a all the, computers getting, whether that needs to be incorporated, that should be allowed, or I think, Pradeep, you have to wait. I will take some questions, maybe towards the end of the session. So let me cover today's topic, so that, you will be able to understand, and I will take your questions maybe towards the end. Okay. Because otherwise my flow will be disturbed, and we'll not be able to cover all the topics. So if any of your questions are there, please do post it in the chat. I will take them up once towards the end of the session. So just I was trying to say that, it is when the computers were coming, at that point of time, people had lot of speculation that lot of automation will make a lot of jobs go off. But still, today's our country has progressed substantially from 1990s to 2024, mainly because of computers. As of now, most of our employment that we are seeing in the country is because of that computer science. Right now, lot of job opportunities, everything is happening on the software domain. And similarly, the times are changing now. At that point of time, if you know programming, coding, you used to get jobs. Your logical thinking is there or not, it doesn't matter. But if you learn by heart also, like, a coder. Basically, there used to be a person called coder who used to code based on the required thing. So you should know the syntax, all that. But nowadays, that is getting away with the thanks to generative AI. You you can generate the code instantly. In fact, I did demonstrate that in the demo class, that you can generate a quick code for any programming language that matter, Python or any of the programming languages. You can generate a suitable code. So the quick question would be that, what will happen to all these software engineers and all this. So my stake would be that, if you are upgrading your skills, and now the future will not be for coders but rather programmers. What is the fundamental difference between a coder and a programmer? Coder is the one who only understands the syntax and puts in the code that needs to be executed. He doesn't understand the logical flow of the code, and somebody else is guiding him that, okay, you write syntax for this, so he will write. So that those jobs, those monotonous jobs where you are talking of people trying to code, they that kind of jobs will go off. But who can upscale themselves into new technologies and trying to use these generative AI, in fact, this whole course was designed based on that. Initially, when I used to code my own programs, I used to take 6 to 8 months for coding the same thing. uh, Thanks to generative AI, now I use the ChatGPT. The same program, I can bring it down flat to 8 10 days. For any program that I want to usually write, I used to take 6 months, because everywhere, of course, my lot of time constraints were also there. But now that much of thing is not there, because ChatGPT generates an efficient code which is very appropriate for your application. And but one of the few problems that you're going to face is exactly what are the keywords that needs to be given, and what kind of help that you need to take it from the ChatGPT. And you should be knowing the basic syntax. So that is where this course was designed, that we will teach you a basic syntax so that you understand the code that is generated. And of course, we will also learn some prompt engineering, where you can get appropriate code based on your requirement. Okay, so we will also provide you with a certain level of personalized support and feedback. Like, if you are facing any problems, you can approach me directly one to one. And there will be a WhatsApp group. Once you have joined the sessions, we will have one to one. You can ask me any questions that you are not able to understand. I will try to help you out, taking out certain time. And of course, we would be responding very promptly, but do allow us to respond within 24 hours. And we if it requires more amount of time, we would I would at least personally prefer towards the weekends, where I will get a lot more time, to be able to give you, in terms of, because I'm also running a company, so I would be engaged in those engagements as well. So we will be provided with the full recorded sessions of whatever the sessions that are happening. And we are planning to have these sessions Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Okay, so that is the overall plan. And just for today's session, I would not be taking up too longer session, but yeah, we will cover 2 hours. But because I want more questions to be taken from you, so I would quickly cover off some of the topics, so that you can start off your journey of doing the Python programming with little more in depth. The demo was only to show the glimpse, but this session will be a detailed session for each part. So I would be doing it with much more detail compared to the demo session. Okay, so this part I have already explained in the demo session, but still, Python is very popular. Basically, it is because of its easy and some of you whoever has learned any programming, I'm sure nowadays in all the colleges and everywhere, at least some programming language is being taught. It could be C, it could be Java, it could be anything as such. But all of that, all of those languages are a little, in that sense, it's not that user friendly. You require a little more training, and specifically, you would be requiring some level of proper training and all that. But Python being an easy language, what do you mean by easy? When you try to see the syntax, it will be more like you are reading like a sentence. A lot of things are much easier compared to any of the other languages. And the second reason why Python has become very popular is because of its public libraries that people are generating. um, for example, I have generated a particular program, and I see that I can put it up in a public domain, and a lot of people get job opportunities for Python based on their own GitHub. So there are during the course I will show you how you can create your own public profile, and some of those things we will be covering there in the course. There, whatever the code that you have written, you can put it up, and some of the people, I know, at least my own friends, some of them, they're completely from different background, but when they started putting up their profile with their own codes, they got randomly calls from some of the companies. They do look for good programmers who could do that kind of job, uh, specific jobs, that customized software development. And you can get a different, like I do freelancing of programming. I do get my own clients, where they ask me to develop a certain code for them, and we do a lot of customized software development for them. uh, that and all can happen if you have your own public profile, and that it all depends on what is your priority. As of now, I have not created my own public profile, because some of the things that I have developed is in proprietary in nature. I don't want anybody to see my codes, so I won't usually publish. But anybody approaches me, I develop their code. That kind of freedom is always there. You have developed your own code, it will be with you. If you want to publish, you can publish. That is the basic idea. And Python has come up with a more like a open source, where people are ready to share their own codes. As long as it is not in proprietary nature, you can share. That's not a very big deal. If you have developed for a generic purpose, why not? You can create a your own code for anybody to see the code. But yeah, it requires certain documentation. We will also be telling you what kind of documentation that you need to incorporate in your coding, so that other people will be able to understand. So all that we will try to cover it at a some level, during this course. So Python has become very popular, especially in the data science field. It's very popular for data science. If any of you are feeling that right now the booming market is for software inside, that is that data science. A lot of opportunities, lot of things are happening in data science. And definitely, AI and the generative AI, especially, we are having a lot of opportunities. Okay, Yeah, there is a announcement from our support team. Please share your name and WhatsApp number. We will add you to Python AI project WhatsApp group. Okay, so please do that, and that would be helpful for you also, so that if you have any doubts or anything like that, we'll be able to cover. So this is very popular in terms of companies like Google, which has built the whole thing from the scratch using these kind of tools, are very very popular, because of their easiness and their there is a cross platform. You can build it up the same Python program for Windows, Linux and Mac OS. That can be executed on all the three platforms, and you can also think of, like, whether you're talking of a web development, you can use for data science, you can use it for automation, AI, lot of cross platform. Like, for example, I am a programmer, and I can quickly learn the libraries, and there is no restriction for me to be, like, either myself limiting to like, for example, algorithmic trading. I need not be limiting myself to only that domain. I can switch domains with very quick use, because Python is available in most of the domains. You can, because people have developed those libraries, they are available in public domain, you can incorporate them and quickly go through. So that is also being covered as a part of this course, how you can use those public libraries and quickly develop your own programs or your own logic or your own whatever the your own functions, and it becomes much more easy to develop those kind of projects, whatever eventually you want to solve a certain thing. It becomes, in fact, some of my one of my client, I did not charge them for that particular work. He was asking me that, okay, I want this kind of work to be done. He was doing it in Excel. Okay, so he was breaking his head, how you can do in Python. I could do it, that the whole thing that he was doing it in flat 10 lines, simple 10 lines. I could execute the whole whatever the logic that he wanted. For him, it was looking like very complicated. That is the power of Python. You can have those inbuilt libraries and use them quickly, and generate those kind of codes. Thanks to ChatGPT, you don't need to use that much of thing also. But you should be knowing how the basic syntax works. You don't need to memorize that, but when whatever the code that is being generated, you should be able to understand. For that, we'll be taking around 5 to 6 sessions initially to cover up all the basic syntax and basics. Then followed by, we'll start quickly on the projects, and you can see that you will also be able to do the projects with confidence by the end of this course. Okay, so that is how Python has been a significantly higher market share compared to any of the other languages, especially for data science platforms. Nowadays it has become almost like, you go to any job profile, Python, knowledge of Python, if it is not even essential, they will say it is preferred. That is always there, because Python has become such a basic thing that if you are a software engineer, that then you would be required to know at least some amount of Python, because it becomes much more easy to develop any tools, or because there are lot and lots of public libraries. Okay, people have generated their own, and it becomes like, for example, you want to do the web scraping, you want to have some like, for example, NSC website is there. Okay, that's you want to extract the data. Okay, if you start building yourself a full based, either Java program or any other programming language, it takes, a lot of times. You are going to encounter a lot of problems, but somebody else has already done, then they have posted those kind of codes. You can incorporate that code into your program, and from there you can develop. That is why Python has become very very popular. And of course, once it breaks even beyond a certain number, it keeps on growing until unless some other language comes in, and which is much more powerful than Python. As of now, Python is the top trending programming language. Okay, so why this Python has been popular? Because of ease of learning, that is simple and readable syntax, and there is a large and active community support. You have downloaded certain programs, and it doesn't work. Okay, you post it there, and the people will respond quickly, and there is across the world, a lot of people are working, and they are more like contributory. They come in, they come forward, and they will give their own inputs. So there is a versatility applicable in many domains. You take care of web development, you try to talk of a standalone application, some automation, and that APIs. You could take any domain, there is always a possibility that you will be able to use it for Python. Okay, uh, the popular community support is available at GitHub, so you can look for GitHub, and that's where lot of public libraries are posted there, and you can get the other people's code quickly and start using it. It's very efficient for machine learning, and it's supremely efficient compared to any other programming language, especially for machine learning. Python is extremely efficient. It does a lot of large size data, especially very big size data that you talk of. A big data, Python handles so superbly, so efficiently, that it gives the output with very much efficient. That's why Python has been popular. So there are other resources where you can get a lot of help for your Python, like Stack Overflow. There are a lot of YouTube videos which also you can look for specific, like for example, uh, I am looking for some API to be developed, some API to be used. There are a lot of quick trainings that are available, on YouTube as well. Like for example, that company which has built that API will make those kind of YouTube channels where they will explain you what kind of thing, and you can quickly learn from them. And there are other, like where Quora and Medium and Reddit, like where you can post in your queries and you can get a quick answers from a lot of users. You can try to take help of these community support that is available. There is a vast amount of community that always help. This is because of extensive libraries that I was talking of. There is a huge number of libraries that people have published, and you can go to GitHub, and you name anything, most likely the library is available. Okay, so uh, you first you need to search for that particular library. If it is available, just import that library into your own program, and just start using it. That is where you don't need to keep on making the same thing invented again and again. That already somebody else has written the library. But yeah, if it is not working as per your expectation, you should know why it is not working. That is what is the basics that you should be covering with. If you are confident of that, you can definitely use. And in fact, in this course, we will try to learn about some of the popular libraries like Pandas, NumPy. These are standard libraries which are available, and you can use them for your own programming knowledge. Just we will be covering those topics, and I will also be covering how you can create your own library as well. What are the program that you have written, you can convert that into a particular library, basically a module where you can make it published yourself. That is also will be training as a part. So as I was telling, this works on cross platforms like Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. And there is an you have the capability of integration with other languages. like somebody, there is a some very old code that is written in C, because that was a very standard scientific language at some point of time. Like it could be Fortran, it could be C. There are a lot of other languages where you have your own old existing, because of once the company becomes very very big, there is a legacy that you have lot of support system that was created with some other languages. Then how do you cover in the Python? Yes, there are certain libraries which have been made available. Like for example, GCC is for C. You use those libraries, and you can directly incorporate those particular codes which were written by in some other language. It could be C, it could be Fortran. You can incorporate those codes into your new Python program. There are that kind of integration is possible with Python. Okay, so you are not going to touch, like for example, somebody has written in a C, and you want to use those functions, just incorporate the GCC library and use those codes into your Python. It will be able to quickly understand those C language code, and it will be able to understand all the tools that were developed with some other programming language can be used inside the Python. So that is what is the powerful. And the second part is that any public library that is made available. Okay, so for example, if I am writing my own code, and I am saying that you can use this for this particular function, okay, for this kind of application, then I have to made my source code. Whatever the code that I have written has to be made available in that public domain. So it becomes much more easy. If there are any bugs or anything like that, the people can always figure out. Like just I was telling you that if somebody has written a program, if it doesn't work as per your expectation, you are provided with the source code, so you can try to go through the source code, try to understand why it is not working. Okay, so with all these, it becomes very very useful and very much helpful for anybody to program. Okay, so coming to some popular libraries, data analytics, and the some of the this gives you a glimpse of all the top 30 Python libraries. And of course, you will be given access to this presentation along with all this information that is available as a PPT itself. You can go through them at a later point of time also. These are the top 30 popular libraries that are available, for machine learning: NumPy, TensorFlow, Pandas, PyTorch, Seaborn, Matplotlib, Scikit-learn, Keras. These are the popular libraries which are available. And for web development, uh, DJango, different people pronounce it in a different way, so just don't go by that, by pronunciation. And it's like flask, bottle, they are very funny names, but yeah, they are very relevant based on how it has been built there. Okay, so there are for web development, there are popular Dash. Dash is one of the popular, where you can have a user interface. And web to pi is also there. These are the popular libraries that are available for you to use them and quickly use it for your own development. Okay, so there are automation testing, and there are a lot of things that you can do with automation, where you have generated your own automation process. You can test it with this. There is a image processing. For scikit image is another, here this is for machine learning. Scikit-learn, Scikit-image is for popular image processing tools. There are game development: Pandas 3D, Pygames. There are a lot of other things that are available for you for to be used for your game development. And web scraping, there are Selenium, Request. These are the ones. Request is a very popular one, which will be using it for any exchange of information from internet, website, any particular website. And beautiful Scoop is another popular library which you can use it for extracting out particular websites information. So we at some part of the course will be covering that this requests, and we will not be covering the beautiful scoop, but we'll be covering the some level of requests, library, how we can use it. And we will also be I'm not sure whether we'll be covering the dash or not, but we'll use some other library, which is much more easy to do our dashboards creations. Okay, but what definitely we'll be covering is all those particular libraries will depend on the project that is made a choice, etc. But yeah, we will be definitely covering some of these libraries independent of which projects are chosen. That is pandas. This is very popular library for data manipulations. It's much more, data frames is one of the popular things that Python has its inbuilt. Once you install the this library called pandas, the data frames is the common thing that is being used everywhere for data analytics. NumPy, and this is for manipulation of numbers, doing the modifications, all the numericals that we would do, it becomes much more easy with this library. Matplotlib is for plotting. This has a lot of popular library functions where you can do bar plot, chart plot, pipe charts. You can generate any kind of plot with a much single line commands with the ease. That is the popular library, that is matplotlib is for plotting. Scikit-learn is basically for machine learning. If some of the things that you want to learn about your code, you can use this. But yeah, we will try to cover that. And some scipy is for scientific, again machine learning based on scientific data. Okay, I'll be covering some of these things with the these are very popular libraries. Okay, so for web development, Django, Flask, these are two popular ones. So you should know at least, when somebody asks where and all, what kind of libraries that you are going to use it for, uh, popular libraries, at least you should be knowing for different applications. For data science, pandas, numpy, and scipy, these are the very popular for libraries for data science. For machine learning, TensorFlow and scikit-learn. So there are job specific things, like, for example, some companies might ask you to have experience TensorFlow, because the earlier guy must have used that TensorFlow and developed certain number of codes, and hence they would require a specific experience in TensorFlow. Similarly, scikit-learn, it all you can do lot of common things with both of them. But yeah, a lot of also there is a separation between both of them, which can be used for what. There are certain limitations for both of them, and that happens with every library that you have, because that library has been created for a particular purpose, uh, and it will be limited there. Okay, so and hence based on their requirement, you would be, but it's much more easier to switch from one library to another library once you know how to use them. Okay, so applications of Python, we have automation, like you can do writing script and task automation. Like for example, I want to run a particular program every day at morning 8 o'clock. Okay, that kind of things that we can do with the Python. And there is a game development also is possible. There is a Pygame which is easy to do generate the games with the help of this. And Internet of Things, micro Python and circuit Python, there are, like, these are very popular libraries for your own microchip, some level of automation that we have. IoT, basically, there is a lot of automation that nowadays are happening. However, like, everywhere, like for example, you have a lot of electricity bills that people come manually and take the meter reading, right? So you can have IoT with Internet of Things, like, you don't need to go physically to take the meter reading. Nowadays these meters, online meters are coming, where that information is transmitted to your own server directly, that meter, because you don't need much of power. That same information, you can have it on the internet and you can collect it from the server. It becomes much more. So those kind of things are also possible with this micro Python and circuit Python, where you can use those libraries and quickly use them and develop that kind of programs where it can you can program it into your microchip to do all the kinds of communication that is required. So a task that you can automate with the Python is, like, for example, file management, like where you want to take the backup of data, like, that kind of thing. You can do a lot of data entry. You just import different files, Excel file, a lot of various kinds of files, JSON file. All of that you will be able to do it with the Python. You can do some level of email management, web scraping. Web scraping is nothing but where, like, so for example, there are a lot of websites that are providing a lot of information. Like, for example, NSE website is there. There is a weather information that is available. Can we use it? And to in fact, for this extent, there are a lot of people are doing on lot of web scraping profiles are there. A lot of job opportunities are there on that. And the other popular segment is social media management. You can do a lot of automation there, like, how many views are coming. Like, for example, even Twitter gives you what is the trending. How does it happen? Everything happens automatically. You don't be needing to count, or there is physical things are gone. And also you can do some level of automation that okay, on my Facebook, I want to post it every one day, some reel, or some small news or something like that. It all depends on, like, for example, it's a small company and you want their social media to be handled, like, every day a small bit of postings would help their visibility in the market more. So you can do that with the Python automation. Image manipulation and components. There are certain things, like, one of the applications where I was working at some point of time was that, uh, there is a huge amount of data that is being generated, for example, for TB, tuberculosis, where that bacteria is there. So you have to use a lot of with eye inspection. You keep on like, a person who is seeing those glass slides on which the TB is there. There is a huge amount of stress on a person who is, expert, who wants to see that whether it is a TB bacteria or not. There is a huge amount of it. Now, thanks, high resolution cameras, you can capture them, and thanks to your Python, in fact, you can match it at this point of time with the machine learning. There is a lot of automation that is happening. You can insert the slide, and it has a very high accuracy to detect whether it is a, so that's where another segment where, a lot of healthcare professionals are looking into data science, to a lot of automation that is happening. And of course, backup and rest your data analytics. You can do certain data analytics. We will be covering some amount of data analytics in this course. And like, for example, website monitoring, whether that website has been constantly, it's whenever that website changes, I can get that information and do. And some amount of GUI automation as well. The graphic user interface that we want to do, you can do certain amount of automation with the help of that. So there are, what is it? Okay. So these are popular Python libraries that are there. For data manipulation, we use pandas and numpy. And data visualization, we are going to use matplotlib and cbol. Okay. These are the two libraries we would be using it for data visualization. And we will also be covering some machine learning based on the project. If it is requiring, we would be mostly covering the scikit-learn and TensorFlow, but that's, all depends on the project that we are going to do. We are also going to cover no, we are not going to cover this web development, DJango and Flask. No, we are not covering these. Automation, Selenium, yes, maybe in some of the projects we might be requiring the Selenium. And beautiful scoop, no, but we will be using requests commonly, some level of automation that will be doing it there. So these are very popular libraries. They are depends on your requirement. Okay. Uh, so as I demonstrated to you in the demo class, you can do it quickly your Python installation along with the Anaconda. Since some of you might be joining for the first time, you might not have watched the demo session, but I would like to make sure that all of you are at the same pace. Mostly, I would be doing the same thing in most of the classes. Every time you join a class, you would be getting all the basic things to be some part of to be covered, so that but yeah, each and every session you will be getting a lot more understanding of a particular topic. Okay, so what do we do? We quickly go through how we can do that. Okay. um, Okay, you have to, you can open up any of the browsers. I'm opening the Microsoft Edge. You can open your own Google Chrome or Firefox, whatever you would prefer, and just search for Anaconda. Okay, this is the popular, a package that is available for us for using the Python. There are two parts to it, right? There are two of them, popular IDEs, integrated development environment, where you can write your code and execute them. There are two of them. One is Anaconda and PyCharm. There are a lot of them are there, but yeah, popularly these two are very, very large number of users use mostly either PyCharm or Anaconda. So Anaconda is very useful for any developer who wants to develop from the scratch with a very small for a small level program. It's much more easy, and to develop your own code with much easier in the case of Anaconda. Okay. And PyCharm is very popular for a very big size programs, where you see like some of the programs can run up to 10,000 lines, 40,000 lines. That time PyCharm becomes very, very useful, where how your code is flowing, you will be able to debug at each stage. But usually for most of the projects, like for beginners, Anaconda is sufficient, and you would be able to do a lot of execution with the help of Anaconda. You don't need to go into that much of deeper, but yeah, it is much more easy, and easy to execute your commands. And it's a block by block we will execute, so it becomes much more easier for beginners. So, and hence we would be, for this course we would be using Anaconda. At some point of time you can switch to PyCharm, whenever you feel that that is more appropriate for you. You can always switch, but as a part of this course we would be using Anaconda. And that's the just I have searched for Anaconda. Just let me take this side. Okay, you can search for Anaconda. Once you search for Anaconda, you will get this link. This is the icon of Anaconda, that green color circle one. Anaconda, I'll just put download. Maybe I'll just directly you can just go there, Anaconda downloads. And once you go there, you can do the skip registration. That is okay. Just you will get Anaconda installer. Based on the operating system, it will make a choice of its own. Right now, it's by default, it has come to downloads Windows version. If you are going to use for some other Mac or Linux, you can appropriately download whichever version you want. You click on download, and since I have already downloaded, I will just you save it in anywhere, but just I will show it to you. I will open up my downloads, and I will search for Python. Sorry, Anaconda, right? Anaconda. So it will come like that, and just you click it here, and it will start installing. Okay. You use all the default variables, just use as appropriately. Some of you might face certain issues if your user name that is created inside your in the system is not having administrative privileges. So in fact, last batch also a couple of people had faced this. If you are facing that kind of a problem, then what you require to do is you go to your downloads, right click and run as administrator. If any of you are facing any particular issue in terms of installation, it could be because of privileges of your user account. If you don't understand, then my suggestion would be all of you just you right click on it, run as administrator. That will always be a better option. And but one thing that you have to ensure is that the source that you have downloaded is from the Anaconda's proper web page, because some viruses and all those things can be there in the administrative privileges. You can damage your system. So I would suggest download it from this website Anaconda, and then you start this properly installation. It will now say that for all the users I can install. Nothing to worry, just you start use all the default values, it will install. Okay, I don't want to say I don't want to start the installation because it's already installed on my system. Once you install, just search, at the end it will ask, do you want to launch Anaconda Navigator? So what is this navigator? This is a navigator. Basically you can use different programs of Anaconda. You can use it as it is required. Okay, there are different like for example R Studio is also available. It's a package. Python is part of it, but that is not all. There are other things that are also available, like once I open up and it will come like this. Okay, I'll just close this. So there are other tools that are available, but we will not be using any of them. Just I'm going to use an Jupyter Notebook. Jupyter Notebook is the one where we are going to write our programs. Okay, just I'm launching here. Once you have installed Anaconda, you go to Anaconda Navigator and launch. Okay, so then you will have your complete the user interface like this, where this is called user interface, where you will find your programs, etc. Like for example, this is the demo class notebook that we had created on that particular day when I had taken the demo class on 11th of September, right? So you are going to save there, and you will find all the codes that were executed there is available here, right? So if you want to create a new notebook, how do we do that? Just you go to the new tab here. In the local host, this is the address at which you can access your Jupyter notebook user interface. That will happen by just simply clicking from here, Jupyter notebook, from the Anaconda navigator. As soon as you install, by the end of it, it will ask, do you want to launch the Anaconda navigator? You stick it, say yes, it will come like this. From here you launch, it will open up into one of your browsers, whatever is the default browser there, a Jupyter interface. Okay, it is possible that once it launches, you can create a new notebook with the help of this new tab. You click on that, open up Python 3, it will open up a new notebook. Okay, so it will open up a fresh notebook. That's what is very simple. So I can just say this is a print command, is where you are interacting with the user, whatever the user you want to know. In this, all the strings are having multiple things. We will talk about that in the next session, where the different kinds of data types, how does it know whether it is a number or an integer or a string. Those are basic syntax that I will be covering in the next session. But as of now, just you assume that I can do it like this. Print, I will say hello Sudheendra. Okay, this is what is my first command. I'll run this. Okay, it comes like this. Hello Sudheendra. So what does it do? It prints out hello Sudheendra. Okay, that is the text that I wanted to print. So this is my first program that I was able to successfully execute. And this, I would say, session or maybe class 1. Okay. Batch 2 class 1. Okay, I'll just rename it. What is that? Batch 2 class 1, right? So you can do that. Just you can rename as per whatever you want to say. See, now it has come batch to class 1. If any of the other program is there, you can always shut down and different things like that, because whatever is running in the background is running with a particular user interface. That is what is this program is about. You are going to execute the commands by clicking here run. There are two ways to run. One is this run button which is available, run the cell, or you can also use shift and enter. Shift and enter together will make it. Okay, I can use shift and enter. See, my mouse is in here only, but this is a keyboard shortcut. Okay, shift and enter. So initially you can try to continue to use this run button when your codes are getting modified quickly and you want to quickly check it. Then you can use shift enter. That becomes usually standard programmers and coders use shift enter, but beginners we always use run. That's because initially we don't remember all that lines. As in when you get used to it, you learn more and more. You get feeling of that. Okay, I'll just quickly go back to my PPT. So if you're able to come up to here where you have installed Anaconda and your first program you're able to execute, we are there for our sessions to be ready. Okay, why this Anaconda is so popular? Because of there are lot of this is a open source Python package, and there are 400 plus popular Python packages are already coming along with the installation. Like for example, Matplotlib, I don't know, but Pandas is there, NumPy is there. These are the libraries which come default with the Anaconda. In some of the PyCharm, I'm not sure. Maybe they might be there. Some of the libraries might not be there. But here, 400 plus popular Python packages are coming inbuilt. Okay, so you don't need to additionally install them. They are coming already ready. They are enterprise ready data analytics platform. So what do you mean by this? Enterprise ready means, like for example, there are I am not sure how many of you know, but Red Hat Linux also comes with enterprise edition. What do I mean by that? Like for example, I am running a company. I want to set up a server based on Red Hat Linux. Okay, Red Hat Linux is free open source, right? But it also is provided with enterprise ready, support. What do I mean by that? I can avail Red Hat services. If I'm facing any particular problem, I as an enterprise can take. There are separate Red Hat support team. Red Hat itself has hired them. They provide the enterprise, any companies which have taken those kind of services, all the problems that they are providing. Right now what happens is most of the things are open source. That means anybody can post question. Whether those questions will be solved or not is a different ball game, right? It might be solved or it might not be solved. There might be a place where it might take months. I, as an enterprise person, a company owned person, I cannot afford to lose time, right? But here in the Anaconda is also enterprise ready data analytics platform. Like, what are the packages? If I'm facing any particular problem, there are support teams which help me in solving those problems. And its big data environment support is available on Anaconda as well. You can very well use big data. Big data is in terms of lots of gigabytes, not even uh, megabytes is nothing actually. Even normal systems can handle. When it goes beyond gigabytes of data, that's when it's very much essential that you talk of big data. Okay, and there is a huge amount of data that is being generated. Imagine the amount of data for everything that we create. And most of you might be knowing that our CCTV cameras, like for example 8 CCTVs if we have, and if you put it 2 terabytes, it can record only 15 days of data. Okay, it keeps on recycling it. And imagine the amount of data that is being generated, huge, that kind of data also it can support Anaconda. Okay, why we use the Jupyter notebook? Jupyter notebook basically is very I have shown you already what is this Jupyter notebook. And basically this is where we write our codes and execute them. That is what is Jupyter notebook user interface. Okay, it's what is this Jupyter notebook is nothing but a user interface where we write our code blocks. These are called code blocks, where you write your codes, execute them. This is the output block, output where it is shown. Okay, so that is how what this is what is Jupyter notebook is. I had shown you how you can launch the Jupyter notebook from the Anaconda platform. Just you use the launch, or you can also search Jupyter notebook directly and launch from here as well. So don't try to do both of them together. Then there is a it will launch. It's not that it is not going to launch, but there is always a confusion which program. Here right now my port is being used as 448 8888. But in that case it might launch a new port number which is 8889, something like that. All that is not required. Just there are two ways to launch. One is Anaconda Navigator, launch from here. If it is already launched, check in your browser, you will come to know that this is a Jupyter notebook icon. You can access it. Okay, or the second way is you follow the standard procedure. Every time the same thing, either you search for a Jupyter notebook or go through the Anaconda process. You can launch your program. Okay, so I showed you how to create a notebook. And there are certain things that you need to be understanding. Like, this is a file where you can rename, make a copy, and of course these are like a standard URL of any of those things. And edit, the option is there. Copy cells, you can all the information that are available, you can go through them. But most of the times we would be required to go through this run. This is the interrupt, right? This is the interrupt the kernel. And this is for restart the kernel, where sometimes your kernel, most of us do face this problem. We get into infinite loop. In fact, when I teach you the functions, that time I will show it to you. It goes into infinite loop. If you want to break that loop, we use the interrupt. And sometimes, your code has become a lot of variables that have been defined, and you want to make sure that your code works every day the same way. You restart and do it from the beginning. Then you will come to know whether there are any bugs or anything that is causing any problems. Sometimes you will be required to do that. We will also learn during our some of the things in the course. Okay, so there is a kernel. Kernel is nothing but the backend that is running, which see, when I'm running here, what happens is inside the kernel, this program gets executed, and whatever is the output that is supposed to be done, that kernel gives that output. And this interface is only the interface, but actually the backend execution happens on your kernel. So just you understand that that's a backend of your the whole programming that is happening. Okay. Okay, so that's what covers there. And basic syntax I had already shown you. That's just you there are, yeah, this part that I need to cover. So like for example, I can also, if I want to put in any comment, I can say this. That comment will start with this syntax. This is comment. Okay, any of the codes, you know for example, this is a print function. Any of the functions that I want to put as an output, I will use the print as a function which I will use whatever the text that I want to print it out. And there are variable and data types. There are different kinds of variables. I'll just put it here. I'll just, x is equals to 10. X is a variable here. Y is equals to 1.45. This is y is another variable. There are, you can also create different variables like, name, right? Sudheendra. So these are, you can see that automatically, I'll just show it to you again. So name is equals to, I'm just pressing one single quote. You can try it on your PC, you will figure out. When I'm pressing one, automatically the second one has come. This second one I did not type. If I can also see, I will put the double quotes. See, it has given me another double quote. So it understands that once a single quote has opened, it has to end with another double quote. So it automatically inserted that double quote. Sometimes it doesn't work, so you have to be careful on that. But this is a where you can create your strings. What is a string? String is a collection, sequential collection of the characters. S is a character, U is a character. So what do these are, that is how in your programming language it is stored, on backside your computer. So whenever I'm pressing a key, that is a particular character. S is a character, U is a character, D is a character. All these characters, when they are in sequence, we call it as a string. X is a variable which is having a value of 10. Y is a variable having a value of 1.45. Of course, we are going to learn about variables and data types in much more detail in the next session. Okay, that is tomorrow's session. Okay, so there is a indentation that is required. So like, any function that you want to create, you can, for example, for I is equals to I in range. These are the functions I will explain you, don't worry. When we are doing the projects, that time, in maybe in next 2 3 sessions we'll be able to learn this. Okay, just these are the basic syntax. As soon as I pressed enter, you can see it is coming directly with a one tab space. So basically, any function that is being written will have this indentation to understand that this lines of code is part of this particular, within the part of this. So that is what is called indentation. That is very, very important. Python uses indentation to define code blocks. Each block is having internal indentation. Okay, I will be able to explain you more in tomorrow's, when we are trying to in the next session. Maybe tomorrow we will not have a session, so we'll just declare that at the end of the session. We'll see how we will be going forward. Okay, so there are variables, and in C, in some of you might be knowing that all the variables has to be declared first. But in Python, we are not going to declare first. We can directly assign. It will automatically create a variable with an appropriate variable type. We will also learn what kind of things that are there, etc. In much more detail, we'll be, see, I'm trying to give you certain glimpse of the whole further sessions so that you can understand. Okay, so there are basic data types. int int is nothing but an integer, where the whole numbers are there. Like, these are used for different applications, right? Like for example, in my shop, there are 10 glass bottles, right? So it can't be 10.1 glass bottles. Wherever there are discrete numbers, usually they are going into integers. Wherever there is a different numbers, decimals also there. I can get my money in terms of decimals, right? Like for example, I can get 56.42 rupees, right? Or 192.48 rupees, right? Or let maybe some weight is there, 0.56 kgs. right? Those are called float, where there is a floating point, that is decimal, that is also known as floating. So here in C you must be knowing that there is a float, there is a double, but here that float is double. Actually you have a lot more of variable, that string capacity, that number it can hold is very very large. Okay, there are strings str, there are booleans, and specific to Python, we have three more data types. List is there, tuple is there, dictionary is there. Okay, and we will be learning about all these things in the subsequent sessions with much more detail. Okay, I will be just I don't want to go too much, and some of will also be covering about Python syntax, for code structure, for if, else if, for while. We'll be doing all these parts in the control structures and the functions in a lot more details there. Okay, just this is what is very starting the program. So for today's session, at the end of the session, if you're able to install your Anaconda and run this print hello world, that would be more than enough for from tomorrow's sessions onwards. The next subsequent sessions that we are going to conduct, uh, I want all of you to come up to this stage, where just you install the Anaconda and try to learn, launch this Jupyter notebook and just simply print hello world. That should be fantastic, and we should be able to progress further. We'll be covering all these basic syntax in the subsequent classes. So you install the Anaconda and get ready for hands-on, as experience in the magic. So the style of teaching would be, during the course I would be providing you with all the PPTs, all the session notebooks, everything will be provided to you. So during the session, do not try to execute the lines of code. Again, I'm repeating, do not try to execute the lines of code. Okay, first you try to absorb, see what is being taught, try to take a physical notebook and note it down as I'm telling. Please do that and use those things on a fresh notebook that I have shown you how to create a fresh notebook, right? Just you have to go there in the user interface, create a new notebook and start typing in each and every command that I have told you. Type one by one and execute them. Then your confidence of programming will increase substantially. Just like I'm telling now, you are trying to type it and directly do it. You will not be able to understand that, because you are going stage by stage directly to the stage, and you will forget the whole things. What you should be doing, please watch the demonstrations or the codes that are getting executed in the class. Use them. Please note it down in your notebook. Try to do the same thing independently on your Jupyter notebook, line by line, by typing yourself after the class. Then your confidence level of learning will be completely different. Please do this. This is very much essential, or else it will be exciting to do the coding part during the class, but you will lose your confidence over a period of time. If you want to learn the programming properly, please practice this. Do not try to program during the class, but rather take down the notes in your physical notebook and use the same thing to execute your lines of code. And of course, you will be provided with these Jupyter notebooks, for your reference. If you're not working, try to open up that notebook and try to see what kind of code that is written, why, how that is different from what you have typed in, what is the syntax error, what kind of things, you can copy those and paste it there and try to figure out what kind of mistakes that you have made. If you are not making any mistakes, then you are not going to learn. Please try and make mistakes and explore those problems and take support from me. Do message me on WhatsApp. Whatever the problems that you are facing, I will help you out, and you will be able to learn successfully, the Python program. If you are trying to go, as I'm speaking, as I'm telling you, just you are trying to install Anaconda and you are trying to run the program directly with whatever I'm telling, you will be able to execute the codes, but you are not learning fully. Okay. Some of you might pick up, but in general rule, I would say don't do that. Try to take down the notes and execute the lines of code independently. Okay. So that brings us the end of the session. So I want you to ask me quickly questions. Whoever has already posted the question, I will try to answer them. Meanwhile, I just give me 2 minutes of break. Just I will drink some water, and you can continue to post your questions. I will take all the questions one by one in today's session, whatever has been posted. Okay. Um, Okay, please do post your questions. I will just go through them one by one once I'm back after 2 minutes. Okay, I'll be muting and we can continue there. Okay. Yeah, hi, I'm back. So yeah, I'll just go through quickly the queries that I have received as of now. I'll from the morning. Okay. So just zero programming knowledge, no idea of programming, Power Center, SQL. Okay. Programming knowledge, no. Pradeep, C language, unable to. Okay. Um, okay, I will start with Pradeep's question, sir. Is this also useful for app development and also data management tools, ETL tools, example like Power Center, ETL, Snowflake, quality data quality? See, I hope Pradeep, I think most of these questions are answered as of now. So you can, if you're not able to understand, please do watch again. So all the segments that you can use this Python, and I cannot be specifically commenting about one particular thing because some of the domains I have not worked. So, like for example, Snowflake, I don't know, but yeah, it should be possible. As far as I know, it should be possible. So let me see. Any other questions? Okay. 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 Vamsi has shared his number. Data management, data engineering projects, what libraries? So it's the same pandas and SciPy. Those are the standard data manipulation software, the libraries that are available. And Pradeep, okay, 925. Um, Pradeep, still you have certain doubt? Um, Data management also, see data management, DWH, ETL tools. I don't know what is this DWH. Um, Let me see what is this DWH. See, these are domain specific. Yeah, yeah, data warehouse. Yeah. So it should be possible. Yeah, ETL tools, and you can do that. And in fact, I would be demonstrating in one of the projects about how you can do ETL, and for projects. Yes, it's possible. So this will be covered. But yeah, uh, uh, but specifically, if you ask me these two, Snowflake, there is already a course that is running. You can look for there. There is a Snowflake that training full-fledged course that Raj Informatica Raj Cloud Technologies run. You can go through that. But this course is specifically for beginners. Who doesn't know any kind of anything about some level of Python, but we will take them to a project level. If you know a little bit of basics of Python, but if you don't know how to do a project, then that is also okay. This course will be relevant for you. But if you are looking for advanced tools like Snowflake, I would suggest you should be going with a customized course, which are like Snowflake, etc. Azure is again a big one, so that specific trainings are separate. IICS, all these courses are available separately. But this is a very basic level course where people wants to come into Python and will be able to do the projects. That is the basic purpose for which this course has been designed. You know, in fact, I can just quickly take you to the projects that we are going to do. Course details, right? Yeah. So, in fact, all the six projects that we would be covering is on these six segments: healthcare, like patients data management system, and warehouse management, inventory tracking system, and e-commerce sales analysis dashboard, education, student performance analysis, finance, personal budgeting tool, algorithmic trading. 50 EMA strategy, that's what we are going to test in the project. One of the projects that this is where I had written a lot of customized software. Um, okay, sorry, I don't have any questions related to this session. I'm facing the following problem when I try to launch Jupyter from the Anaconda. Okay, let me see what is the your file cannot be accessed. Jupyter server. Um, No, I think there is a Raghu. I think you will be required to run it from directly. Um, yeah, Pradeep. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, you have seen these projects, so Pradeep. Yeah, Raghu. I don't know why you are facing. Just can you confirm me? You have installed Anaconda with the help of right click and run as administrator. Did you do that? Yeah. Okay. So I don't know what kind of pop-up is this. Your file, see Raghu app data roaming Jupyter runtime. Um, Jupyter server is open. Here, so there is some installation issues, Raghu. I think what you can do is you can try to uninstall fully, and just run it, and it will ask for uninstallation. Run it, uninstall it fully, and maybe you need to restart your computer once, and then try to reinstall with administrative privileges again. I'm not sure what kind of error file not found means. It is possible that these files either are not being made available, maybe because of administrative privileges restriction. And you we have to figure out why your PC is facing this problem. So please do post me into the group, that is you, whichever group that you have joined in, you know uh, we will try and see. And then, Raghu, if you are registered in batch 1 or batch 2, have you been registered either batch 1 or batch 2? Are you part of either batch 1 or batch 2? Batch 2 you are registered, okay. So we will be creating a WhatsApp group there. Yeah, so your batch has just now started, right? You have not batch 1 is already we have completed. Yeah. So some people still might be wanting to join the fresh sessions, just to learn, which is, these are open to everybody. So first couple of sessions. So I thought, some of you already who might have been joined in batch 1 might be wanting certain questions or something, that, just to re-practice or something. Some, I was guessing that. Okay. So yeah. So in that case, we will be creating a WhatsApp group with all the batch specific things to be shared in that particular batch. You will be getting my number, and some of the times I do post directly. Our support team and me, both of us will post our all the instructions, all the things there. So during that time, you can contact me. I will try to help you out. This issue also, I will give you some specific time, on any evenings or some other time, where both of us can be accessible. I can come on to any desk for your PC to be we try to figure out what is the problem and try to resolve it. Okay, so we will do that. Okay, Raghu, thanks. Okay, any other people, any other questions that you have? Anybody? We have participants. So Gayatri, Lata, I think Raghu and Pradeep have responded. Shweta, Umapati, Vamshi also, I think, responded sometime. I don't see rest of you are responding. So can you please tell me whether you are able to understand or you are not able to understand, whether the flow is fast or you are not getting that confidence. Please do feel free and post your comments on the chat initially. So I will just maybe another 2-3 minutes, then I will open up for you to unmuted access. So do that. So Gayatri, are you there? Lata, Shweta, Umapati, please type in the chat if you are there. Yes, I am there at least. Gayatri, Lata, yeah, okay, somebody has messaged. Okay, Gayatri, yes. Lata, Shweta, and Umapati, any of you are there? I don't know. These people have logged in and went off, I think. Okay. So, Gayatri, are you able to understand? Anybody, if you're able to understand, if you're able to follow the session, please do paste it, type in that, yes, I'm able to follow. If you are not able to follow, please do post in that you are not able to follow. Umapati, yes. Okay. Yes, I'm able to. Raghu says I'm able to follow. Yeah. Raghu said I'm able to follow. Umapati also said Vamshi. Yes, good. So anybody who is not able to follow, please feel free and say no, I'm not able to follow. And tell me wherever you are not able to follow. I will try to yeah, Umapati, that's okay. Uh, it happens, sorry for delayed response, but that's okay. Yeah. Please, anybody, any questions that you have? No, it's not necessarily to today's topic that I have taken, in general about Python or anything that you want to ask. Please feel free to ask. I can give unmute access. I will allow participant to unmute. Let me see where it is. Post tools. Allow participant to unmute. Where is it? Share screen. Unmute themselves. Okay. So you are given unmute access. Please, if you want to speak or if you want to chat, either of the ways it is fine. If you are wanting to ask any questions, please feel free to ask the questions. I have given you unmute access.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, hi
Can you
Lata.
hear me? Hello.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can hear you.
I'm still installing, so as of now, I don't have any questions. Maybe I'll let you know if I have any issues or questions.
Sure, sure. So you can try. Yeah, that's fine. So yeah, after the end of the session, you can install all these things. Yeah, that's fine. Thanks, Lata. At least thanks. Yeah. Anybody else who wants to speak or who wants to go through? Is my pace okay? Is my speed and the course content? The content, my speaking and all that. Is it comfortable for you?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Raghu. Thank you, Lata.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Umapati, you want to speak something? We couldn't hear you.
Yes, sir. You're able to follow you. And the session was
Sorry,
good.
your volume is
Hello.
low, Umapati. Actually, I don't know.
Can
Hello.
you hear? Can you hear me
Yeah,
now?
I can hear you. Yeah, better.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, sir. I'm able to follow you. This is the first session. The introduction is very good,
Yeah,
and yeah. Henceforth, the way you communicated, this will follow.
yeah, sure. Thank you, Umapati. Yeah, thank you. So
Just
all of you will be provided with the recorded sessions as well. So you will be given an access to how you can watch these recorded sessions. So you will be creating, there is a process in which all the participants will be using some, Exvast or something like that. There is a, I think it's Exvast only. Yeah, Exvast. Yeah, Xvast is this is the browser that you need to install because the recordings will be provided there. With that, there is some protection that is available there. So you required to use this Xvast for accessing your recorded sessions on along with the other content, which will be shared by our support team. They will give you a presentation how you can install it and watch these recorded sessions. And so as of now, just try to install the Anaconda and try to run one of the simple print hello world command. And if you are able to reach up to there, then you are ready to go for the Python programming. That should be the way. Okay. So today's session, I would, if a very limited number of people had joined, so until unless I see further questions, I can end the session early also. Please.
Sir, one question. Are you going to share any screenshots of the installation?
Not required. Why do you want? Of which install Xvast? Xvast we will share.
No,
Yes.
not Express, Anaconda.
Anaconda, it's nothing complicated, right? Just you
Yeah,
regular.
nothing. I mean, in the somewhere, just I clicked something else. I know in the demo session you have
Okay.
showed us. But here, I passed that step, but just in case if I'm unable to launch that Jupyter notebook, if I need any help going back and checking that, especially somewhere I forgot, sir. Actually, I moved that screen.
Okay. No, just I will show
Um,
it to you right away. What is there? Just
okay.
you run it here. Why do you, I don't think so. You will be requiring screenshot. Just you use default settings. Anaconda, just
Okay.
I'm running it here. Uh, just you go all the way up to their installation. See, it started here, it came up to here, right? I'll press
Mhm.
next, agree, next, next. It will start installing. That's it.
Okay, all default options. That's all.
All the default options, nothing else to change.
Okay, sure, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, so that would be sufficient for you to install. And once after installation, just you can by chance in the end also, if you have not selected the Anaconda Navigator to be launched, that is okay. Either you can launch it, search it from here, Anaconda Navigator, or I will just since I have ended my Jupyter notebook, I'll just rerun that. Just I'll launch this Jupyter notebook directly by searching in the search bar. I'll just launch like this. It will be able to execute only Jupyter notebook part rather than
Oh,
Anaconda. That it comes, it launches, and it is opened up in a my default browser. There is a this Jupyter notebook interface that has come up. So it will come like this. Okay.
okay.
Yeah. Anybody
Yes.
else? Any other questions you have? Abdul, I think you have joined quite late. So I don't know you were there earlier or not, but yeah, I think can you please confirm whether you have been there in the full session, or you could join only at a later point of time?
Yeah, I joined late actually.
Okay, okay. Okay, Abdul. I think this recording also will be made available on YouTube directly. Any of you have not gone through the full session, you can go through it, and the full video will be made available on YouTube. You please try
Okay,
to
okay.
practice, whatever has been told. And basic today's session was that for you to make familiarize with the Python and installation of Python onto your PC and get ready for tomorrow's session, next session, subsequent session. So I do have a quick announcement. Whoever has registered for the course, tomorrow we will not have the session, and I will update you with the further process, how we would be able to start the sessions and things like that in the groups. So we will be creating a dedicated WhatsApp group for all the participants who have registered into the this particular batch, and we will continue the sessions there. Okay.
Sir, usually the classes will be Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursday and Friday.
Yeah, that's correct. Wednesdays, actually, I have certain other, I last batch also when I was taking, I had taken the same way, but still people were feeling that, the content was for a week, especially for professionals who are already working, they felt that it was 4 days with 3 days gap is not sufficient for them to practice.
Oh,
So because you'll also be, until unless some people who are right now doesn't have engagement, that is fine. But people who are already job going people, then it becomes very difficult for them. So that's why we had initially planned that 4 days of because weekends will be there. If you can
mm,
spend some amount of time, yeah, you should be able to cover all the 4 sessions, the content that whatever I had given, because you'll be also required to spend some time for practicing.
yeah.
That's what reinforces your learning. uh,
Mhm.
it looks very easy when somebody else is teaching you or demonstrating it to you, but if when you start doing it yourself, you will learn a lot more than what has been taught.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
So please do, we are planning that 4 plus 3, 4 days of Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, 4 sessions, so that you can practice it, and you can be ready for the next week by the end of that week, Saturday's weekends.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Latesh. Um, Anybody else? Any other questions you have? Abdul, so just for my understanding, have you been registered in this batch too, or you have just joined to?
No, I have not registered. Just I
Okay,
am going to the demo session.
yeah, sure, Abdul. That's okay. So Just for your information, since Abdul, you have joined and some other people also might have joined, I can see some of you who have already registered. For other people who have not registered, yeah. So we have this Python course. This session has been designed in such a way. In fact, just I'll give you a brief background why this course was designed. Raj is my very old friend. My very childhood friend. Me and Raj, we studied together from class 8th onwards. Class 8th to class 12th we were together. After that, this was way back in 1997, something like that. So we are that much friends, and we have been together our friendship has been there for quite a long time. And from there, of course, I have moved on to in 2004 to IIT Kanpur, where I did my post graduation and PhD as well. Then, I was doing a lot of programming things like that. I was discussing with Raj that I could develop the programs earlier, 6 months time frame, and now I could do it within a short span of 8 to 10 days. Most of the projects now, because the requirements are very very small, so you can do small projects. Earlier it used to take a lot of time. So I told him that ChatGPT is helping me enormously. Then he suggested, why don't you float this kind of course where people can build their own projects with quick and using ChatGPT and Python. That's where the whole basis of this course was, that discussion which had led to helping people to build the projects on a quick. So this course will be covering the Python basics, followed by more project oriented focus for this course, where we will take up these two projects, start from the scratch, take it up all the way end. That is the basic purpose of this course. And of course, I will be helping you one to one. Whoever is facing any problems, I can help you as per the timeline provided. We will try to help you in all the ways that you can become an independent programmer. Uh, but one key is there: your efforts and sincerity in learning, that has to be there. You have to put in that efforts and sincerity. You will be able to learn. Chat GPT can help you in basically making the program uh, develop quickly, but there are enormous amount of mistakes that ChatGPT makes. And in fact, ChatGPT claims also itself that it does make mistakes. In fact, I'll just show it to you. See, this is, I had seen enough number of times. It completely gives missed logic. In most of the but still, I would say it can save your time 90%. Definitely, for basic logic, you don't need to apply your brain. But yeah, you will be required to understand how the logical flow is happening and some syntax of the code. That's what we are trying to cover through this course. And, doing a project at the end of the course, if you have followed all the things, all the guidelines that I had given you, of course, you will also be provided with the recordings. You can always watch these recordings again and again. There is no problem, because that's lifetime access for you. And if you are facing any problem, you can always contact me. And you would be sufficient, if you have done sufficient practice, you should be having sufficient confidence in doing the project independently. But all that depends on how much time in and efforts that you want to put in and learn. Okay, so I think that should be sufficient. Until unless you have any questions, I can end the session. Okay, I'm ending the session. Thanks for all of you for joining today's session. Have a nice day. Thank you.